Alright folks, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy Fierce video with Fat Phil, and I just thought I'd throw this out here. This is going to be my Phase 3 of territory battles, and this is where the fun begins for me. This is where I have fun. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of leave the footage up here. I'll narrate through some of it. Some of it I might just go a little bit silent as I'm looking at other stuff. But I thought this would be a fun video to kind of put together for you guys, give you some perspective as to, you know, how I go through territory battles, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll kind of talk through, you know, certain points here and there, but overall, I just want to let this play through. Let's give a massive shout out to our channel members again for all of their continued support. If you're ever interested, that link is down below, along with a link to Discord server. Go check it out. Thank you guys again for keeping the faith, for believing in me, whether you are on the council or you've been granted the rank of Wampa or Jedi Master. I very much appreciate everything you do. So thank you guys again. Let's get in here. Let's show you some TV footage and maybe talk a little bit about certain things. So we're going to start rolling the footage, and part of what inspired me to, you know, record this was just, you know, something that, you know, is fun. But the other thing is, like, you can see how your account grows. I saw somebody make a comment, you know, that, hey, like, we're going to get a new TP in, like, in a year, and that's absolutely not going to happen. I do want to take a pause on that and just discuss, like, I don't have to change mods for the Riva mission anymore, right? That's not something that is necessary for me. I don't need to change mods here. And a big part of that, I'm using Riva herself in the mission, so that makes my life a lot easier. But otherwise, I just have mastered the strategy, to be honest. Like, I know what I'm doing, my mods are good enough, and this is kind of where you want to be aiming to be, right? But this kind of leads into the discussion point that somebody said, yeah, you know, we're going to get a new TB in like a year or two. We're absolutely not, because they designed Rise of the Empire to be able to, I'd say, last a lot longer. And that's where some of these Omicrons, when you talk about a territory battle Omicron, sure, you're not getting as much value because, like, I don't need Merrick's Omicron to complete that mission. But if you did invest in it, again, you're investing in something that is never going to lose its value. Think about Starkiller, think about Malicos, or Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron. Some of those have lost a little bit of their value as new things have come into the game and you need newer and newer Omicrons. Territory battles, that doesn't really happen. There's new territory battle Omicrons that come in that are maybe better than what was there before, but there's not, they didn't lose any value, right? Like, if you buy the Enoch, if you equip Enoch or Merrick, you're going to have that from now until the end of time, and it's going to be just as good now as it will be in a year. So I do want to make sure that that's something that we're paying attention to. And as we just wrap up the Bo-Katan mission here, again, no need for me to remod, and that's just more of a statement of the quality of the mods that I have. I would remod for that mission if you're unsure that you can beat it. So yeah, you guys will kind of see, like, we're just going to be waiting here, because when I filmed this, I was in the middle of, like, my work day, so I was kind of going back and forth and juggling things left and right. So yeah, you know, working through that a little bit here. So let's kind of fast forward to the Jabba the Hutt mission. So one thing with territory battles that I do, just as a strategy, is that I do the missions that I don't need to remod for or think about first, right? So Jabba, like, we're throwing this on auto, and I'm literally just doing my work at the moment. Like, I'm just going through and working at the moment, because I don't need, again, I don't need to pay attention here. Like, I'm fine, right? You know, would I love to take it off of auto? Absolutely, but I have no need to take it off of auto. So you just let it go, and it's going to win. And one of the things you can do to kind of understand when it's time to make relic upgrades is you can use territory battles to kind of say, well, if I build up Skiffguard Lando, if I build up Embo, what am I really getting? And the answer is nothing. Like, my Jabba the Hutt is already winning in territory battles every single time without those guys. So I'm set there, right? And so then from here, I just normally do all my ground missions first. And what I try to do is the ground missions where I'd say I have the least variation to my team, or the ones that, like, I can auto here. So you guys will see I'm kind of picking and choosing. And then we're going to do probably my favorite territory battle mission, right? I love this mission on Tatooine. You guys get to see the king in action here. So I forget when I actually figured this out, but Wampa solos this Tatooine mission, right? Just watch. Like, it's insane. Now, I do manually play it because I don't think the computer would quite make the same decisions that I do at certain times. Because you want to save certain abilities for the next phase. So there, everybody dies off. We can go and, do this. And then I'm just going to hit the AoE. And then, again, just between the damage over times ramping our offense and then Wampa's counterattacks, like and they die off from the dots. And you do kind of have to manage your damage over times a little bit, but it's not too bad. You guys see, like, we're never in any danger. Our king just rapidly erasing these guys. And easy 2 out of 2. So that's a fun one. That's where I get enjoyment out of TB, is when I, like, figured that out. So now, like, we're going to go here and do oh, that's right, I do this fleet mission. So I kind of just bounce around, and I try to figure out, like, which ones I know exactly what counters I'm going to use and which ones I'm not going to use. And that way I just have a better idea of what's necessary moving forward. So, again, here, just going to kind of work through. This mission is I'd say it's pretty easy. I'm not going to say it's the easiest thing ever, but it's a fairly simple mission once you have the right strategy and relic levels. There is a little bit of luck, I would say, in some of the, what does and doesn't happen in terms of bonus turns and things like that from Anakin. But overall, as you guys saw, they're pretty simple, pretty safe. So that one's done. And then my guild, we only have certain missions available. And a big part of that is just looking at it from a return on your GP. So you guys will see I'm, like, struggling to figure out what I want to do here. And, General Skywalker I normally would use on this planet, but I end up swapping around a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? I think I want to use Shaak Ti. I like Shaak Ti here and the biggest reason I like Shaak Ti is because she has the assist call, and we're going to be using that with Ezra Bridger Exile a lot. So here, and I do this very intentionally, so I want to pause here for a second, right? So I let off with the second ability on Ezra, and saving the one that allows me to pass turn meter. I then use Cal Kestis to pass turn meter to Ezra, and then I use Ezra to pass turn meter to Cal Kestis, and I can ramp Cal to 20 stacks of persistence extremely quickly. So that is a big tactic, big brain play, if you will. And then here, look, Ezra already out of exile. So now I can start calling him to assist, getting all those extra things, and I'm in good shape. So that's a big, again, if you can do that with your Ezra Bridger, it's super, super nice to do. That's absolutely a great tactic. If you can kind of manage that, it's a, pretty simple, I don't want to say simple fight, but it's pretty easy, especially when you have the operations done in, like, we get them done in phase 4. When you get the operations done, like, you see Ezra's still dodging, but in the phase where you have operations done here, you can get, mastery gain on Ezra, and then he just, like, never gets hit. It's so funny. So his dodge chance just gets so high, and it's kind of like, it's silly. So then here, we're just kind of, again, working through stuff, making sure that we can kill these guys off. And I'm just trying to save my specials for the next phase. And I try to keep Cal Kestis out of the crossguard, which isn't always the best situation, the dual wield configuration. And the reason I'm trying to do that is because I want to gain as many stacks of persistence as I can in the next phase. So now I can lead in with Cal here, pass turn meter to Jedi Knight Luke. I can stun. Look, pass turn meter again to Cal. And again, we're rocking and rolling with our stacks of, like, persistence there. So there we even got a kill. And then I can just go ahead and start working through. So it's kind of crazy how much easier Ezra makes this, because you can just kind of, like, we're going to kill the sides before we even get to Second Sister with 30 stacks of persistence from Cal. Yeah, Ezra just makes this an easy battle. So there you go, right? So hopefully that helps you guys if you do have Ezra Bridger. You don't even need Jedi Master Luke for that. Maybe in that phase you do, but in the next phase, I never use JML there, and it's an easy win for me. So I definitely like that one a little bit. So now we're going to move over to Kashyyyk, and we have a Rebel battle here. And I just kind of throw together... I don't have the Saw Gerrera mission available yet, so I just throw together the Rebels that I have. And honestly, Fulcrum is really good with Leia because she helps juice her ultimate that much faster. So, you know, it's super, super fun there. So, yeah, like Fulcrum, again, at Relic 9, just dealing so much damage. So here we go. I can hit this up and then just basically, I'm going to say delete yet because her, you know, they have a lot, that Stormtrooper has a lot of health and protection, but yeah. The goal with Leia, the reason I don't put this on auto is because she'll use her ultimate when I don't want her to. Like, I like to lead my ultimate into the next phase. So Leia's got ultimate, we're just going to save it, and we're going to get into the next phase with as many specials around as we can. So there we go. And now we're going to call in our ult. And we're just going to wait. And I actually steal, it's so funny, I actually steal Fulcrum's turn meter at times. Like, with Leia's first special, I will actually use, like, Fulcrum to do that. And then there we go. So you guys see, at this point, I should just press auto more. There we go. Like, finally just press the auto and let it run its course. I just get a little bit, you know, I like to kind of keep a closer eye on the battle. That's just my controlling nature when it comes to this. Like we're hitting this guy with, you know, crit hit immunity. You know, we could have done something there, right? But hey, working through it. So then next we're going to use Jedi Master Kenobi. And again, I know you're like, this is not a guide of, oh, these are the teams that work. Like my guild is at the point where you know, it's more important for me, instead of trying to be cute, it's more important that I just, you know, get as many waves done as I can. So the one reason I put, as you guys probably saw there, I put damage immunity on GK, because I'm not worried about, like, sniping somebody out with Force Leap. Like, there we go, I got Force Leap, I can go kill that guy. The reason why I put damage immunity on GK is so that way their opening onslaught of hits doesn't take him out. You know, I just don't want to do that. I want to keep him alive as long as I can. And what we're doing here is we're calling Commander Tano to assist, because the goal is just to increase her mastery, increase Jedi Master Kenobi's mastery, and that way, you know, this team is as juiced up as they can be for the next phase. Snipe out that guy, and then there, look, like Kenobi almost got, you know, General Kenobi almost got wrecked. So yeah, they're already whittling him down pretty far, but we're gonna save his damage immunity because he actually has, you know, he was gonna take a turn. So at this point now, we're in pretty good shape. And again, another one where I could just press auto, but we're just gonna keep, you know, I like doing what I do. I like calling Commander Tano to increase her mastery because I think it just helps. So there we go, going after Stormtrooper now, and now I can press auto. Once I get to a certain point, I will press auto just because I know it's unlosable and I'll be okay. But I normally try to hold off on auto because I'm just very controlling, for lack of a better term there. And I'd say normally it's, I'll put it on auto once I know that the battle's done and dusted. So there's a little bit of time lapse here. And we're going to get to the fleet mission here. And again, you know, the fleet mission with Profundity, the one thing I've always said with this one is that there is kind of like this high variance of like how this battle can go depending on the number of assists you get, critical hits and other things. Like, it's so random. But it does, you know, you eventually just win. You know, I'd say most of the time I end up winning. So yeah, we're just trying to kill the Scythe. You can actually kind of see, like, this battle's not going great. Getting some dodges, you know, we're not, like, I wish I was at ultimate right now, but we're not. So then I just call in Cassian's U-Wing. Once I can get Scythe out of the way here, I am buffering. Good God. Oh my goodness, that's so embarrassing. How am I buffering? So oh yeah, there we go. We call in Cassian's U-Wing just to kind of, you know, get that, make sure that we 1000% get Scythe out of the way. And then we call in our ultimate. And then once I call an ult with Profundity, I will always press auto because then it is unlosable at that point. Like, there's nothing they can do. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to go on to, like, Tatooine here. So now I've done all the rest of my light side battles, so then I use the rest of my light side characters here, and I love using GL Rey. And the big reason I like using Rey here is because, like, so we don't do the unrestricted missions on Zepho because it's just not worth it. So I use Rey, and the big reason why I use Rey is, like, I could use Mercenaries, but not super consistent. But with Rey, she doesn't take, it's damage over times. So she takes reduced damage from the whole damage over time thing. JTR will dispel debuffs. So look, like Fennec's already dead. She just got sniped out. But I can just spam Sudden Whirlwind with Rey. Seer and Cal are just going to stay alive through Lifeblood. And then these guys are just going to, the Tuskens just die off from, like, Sadness. So eventually they just kind of die off. You know, we're just kind of waiting around. And since Ultimate, they can't deal damage to us, it's just kind of a cheat code. So again, we'll kind of follow that same path here. I've never lost with this team on this planet. Like, it's a shoo-in. So we got our Lifeblood out. And I should have healed with Cal there, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried. And we'll just call in our ultimate. And it doesn't really matter who I target. And we're just going to go there. And then boom. Easy enough. So that's one way to really use GL Rey on Tatooine there. It's just super easy. And then I use the punishing one here. I don't know what ships to use or anything. I'm just kind of throwing stuff. Throw caution to the wind here. So we're just going to go through. I don't know that I liked using punishing one in this lineup as much as I liked using the Xanadu Blood. But again, I don't know if I'm misplaying or whatever. But whatever I'm doing, it works. Because I don't drop the fight. So that's what's important. But I will say punishing one is super, like, you did get contract there super quickly, and it does have a really, really good damage output, so I don't hate it. There we go, and then boom. Yeah, so punishing one there. I forget what phase it was that I felt punishing one was kind of delaying a little bit, but we still got it done. So now I've got Dathomir left. Right, so here I use Lord Vader. Right, which is pretty, yeah, I think I do the Lord Vader one first. I was just making sure. I was kind of just looking to see what I do and don't have. And then I throw Snowtrooper in here. Because, again, you kind of just use... With Lord Vader, you can kind of use what you have. You don't need, like, the perfect team. But Snowtrooper is super fun. Because every time somebody dies, he gains all this turn meter. And then he can just spam his AoE. Because he can reduce his cooldowns through all the critical hits. So it's just super, super fun. So, yeah, like, he's just AoEing constantly. So, yeah, eventually these guys just die off of, like, Sadness. And so you can just completely auto with Lord Vader. The one thing I will do, you guys will see, I'll kind of take it off of auto at one point. Because I want to, like, right here, we hit alt, and then I take it off of auto. And the reason I take it off of auto here is because I don't want to use that middle special. I want to save that to lead off in this phase. And that way I can supercharge my ultimate and then just press auto again. You don't need to do that. I just wanted this fight to go faster, to be perfectly honest. Like, Dathomir is such a slog, and the faster you can get through it, the better. So we're just going to kind of keep going through here. And there we go. Got our full ultimate charge. And again, Snowtrooper put in some work there. He got a bunch of those kills. So I like that. That was a fun one. I very much think Snowtrooper is, like, so good here. So I'm going to let the rest of this video play while I go and deploy my, whoops. I'm trying to think of what's going on there. Let me pause this real quick. I just got to pause this while I go deploy my units for TB. In this current one that I'm doing. There's 9 million. Alright. So what I was looking at through here is I'm going to use Kylo with Darkside Ray. I hadn't had a chance to try. I wanted to try this out just to see how it was. And you can see here, like, it gets a little bit dicey. Like, they kill everybody. And then I was not sure what ability to use, but I'm like, I just got to get to ultimate. Like, I cannot lose Kylo here. So look, like, even here, look, it's still just down to Rey and Kylo. And I'm like, well, I just got to get some kills. And then look, like, Kylo almost dies there. Like, they just hit so hard in this phase. But we're okay. I kind of regain, like, all of my, you know, I'm just saving, I am, like, legitimately saving my ultimate here because in this next phase, I'm just going to jump right away. And then the nice thing is, like, when they start killing your other First Order units with, like, Sith Trooper here can just juice Kylo's ultimate, and then you can just poke a little bit. And the reason I like to poke is so you can siphon away more mastery, and also so we can get somebody like Acolyte, kind of keep her under control so she doesn't just snipe someone out. So there we go, and then it was pretty honestly, it was a pretty safe fight. Like, even though, like, that first wave, you're like, I hopped into ultimate and we were good to go. So we have the Dr. Aphra battle. This is a newer one that I've been doing. So I just throw in a, like, random team of scoundrels. So I use Boba Fett, Sign of Django with the droids that I have available in Darth Vader. And what you'll notice here is with Darth Vader, I am going to very purposefully I don't enter Merciless Massacre. I don't want Vader to go into the next phase and not have Merciless Massacre or Force Crush available, because then he like, just doesn't give Aphra enough stacks of Siphon, right? She needs those stacks of Siphon for, like, the debuffs. So here we're going in, and then Vader I can Merciless Massacre and start spamming some debuffs. So it's definitely something that I try to do. And then what you'll see is BT1 kind of does all the work, and I'm really intentional with what I do here, is that I'm constantly just trying to spam his AoE to get kills, and then, you know, from there it's pretty simple. That was a very, actually, fast Aphra battle. And then we use the GOAT here, Admiral Trench. Honestly, this team can take a long time, but I love this team for Phase 3 and Phase 4. You're gonna be like, Phil, this team, there's no way it wins. Like, you're already down characters. It takes a little bit, but once it gets going, man, it is worth the ride. So again, we're just gonna start trying to get tech out on the field. Landed some fear on the Acolyte, which is good. Get all of our tech out. So now with all the tech that we have out on the field, we're in a lot better shape. So I can just kind of go through here. And I didn't get I wanted to get the kill there. That was the big thing. So we're trying to line up the kills with either Trench, because he has Blast Tech, which can allow him to keep people from, reviving. And then, of course, anytime we get a kill with Django, he can do the same thing, where Django can basically, keep going there. I don't know if you guys just saw my power go out, but my power literally just, like, went out. Thank God I'm only making, like, a video and not, like, like, this will just get stored on my laptop, so we're in good shape. But, otherwise here with Trench, like, the most annoying part is at times, oh, we're gonna lose it because I'm on YouTube. I didn't think about that. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. So while this is loading, the worst part with using Trench here is that you end up in this kind of, like, awkward situation where you can't get to Acolyte. We're almost at the end of our video here too, so, like, I want to make sure I get through everything, but I'm not connected to the internet right now because, like, we literally lost power. Let's see if I can get back on. I'm gonna try this. Of course, can't connect to the network because it's not on. My apologies here, guys. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of pause the music And I'll finish this up. So we're like right here with Admiral Trench. What I will do is open this up via, we'll flip our screen here. Give me a sec. We'll go here, and then what I'm going to do is just open this up in media player, because I still have this saved like to my laptop here, so I can at least get it going there. So we've got, where am I at? Here it is. All right, and let me just kind of restart us to where we were. All right, video settings. Let me just adjust our speed. All right, and then let's switch over here. Apologies. If you're still watching right now, you're a real one for hanging with me through this. All right, there we go. And now I can kind of keep going here. So, yeah, at this point, what we're doing, right, and again, it's not going to show perfectly, like you're going to have that pause play bar, whatever. But yeah, this is that kind of like awkward spot where sometimes you can't get to Acolyte in time, so you just kind of have to like wait. And then we kill her there, but we killed her right, before Zombie could take a turn, so we're in good shape. But again, this team is pretty consistent. Sometimes it's a super fast run. Other times it takes forever. I have found that the best strategy for me is just to try to get the kills to prevent revives. When you, like there, I like get mad because like I kill Talzin, and that's normally not a good thing. Like you want to try to get Talzin out early because if she can spread plague on the field, that's when I'd say your lose condition happens. And I misplay with Wat Tambor there. And there, like, again, we're, Acolyte, like, dies from dots from Wat instead of from somebody who can prevent the revive. So I have to do a little bit of TLC here, but we do get Talzin out. And once you get her out, that's where, again, life gets easy. They can't spread plague anymore. So, the plague is kind of the killer here. It's not, like, it sounds so funny, but, like, the plague is the killer, not so much the, I'd say, like, the characters themselves aren't nearly as brutal to beat as, plague is. In terms of, like, where I spread my tech, this is definitely where I see the best benefit. That, the giving the speed tech to Wat, the tank tech to Django, and the health pack to Newt. So, that's definitely where I've kind of enjoyed it the most. I do apologize that the video quality is kind of down now because of YouTube not, liking me. But, hey, it is what it is. So, the last one we're going to be down here to is, we're going to be, like, the operations. The reason we do this Night Sister special mission in this phase is because in the next phase we utilize these characters in other missions. So here I'm just going to go through my entire remodding process for these guys. I completely overmod. Like, just 1000%, it is an overmod in terms of the stats. Everything just goes crazy. Like, it's, yeah, complete overmod here. And I actually kind of misplay the second wave here, so you guys will see that. But overall, this is a pretty, man, this speed is killing me. What is going on here? Hold on. Slow it down a bit. See if the lag is just misery here. See how, like, bad that lag is? I apologize. This is terrible. I'm just going to go back. Just get through this at this point. If you're still watching, real ones. So yeah, we're just trying to, like, get, again, this first phase, I just try to finish with as many of my specials off of cooldown so that way I can more easily beat the next phase. But, yeah, I'm not normally too concerned one way or the other. So you guys will kind of, if you can kind of see it, it's not the, again, I apologize. The YouTube version of this was so much better, but, let me see if I can get back on YouTube now. I think I have my, yeah, there we go. All right. Let's go to the screen capture here. And there we go. And now I can play this, and it should look a lot better, and I can even get my music back on. So I'm going to play this. You guys can actually see that more in action. Again, apologies for the loss in power. I don't know what happened with that. It's kind of annoying. So there we go. Sorry for all the outages here and there, but we're just, again, getting through. So yeah, I mean, you guys will see this again. You're just trying to get through with your specials, right? All you want is your specials active for the next round. You know, Night Trooper, Death Trooper, it's nice to have them off a cooldown, but particularly with Morgan, you want her Mass Assist available. That's a big one. If you can get the Mass Assist going, that's the most important one to have. So again, we're just kind of getting through this. There we go. Come on, just work through. Boom. And then this is you guys will see the misplay here. So I should have done that to dash first, and instead I did it to Maul. And so I'm like, crap, but it's all right. Like, because even like Maul survives here. Look, he gets that turn, which I normally never want him to get. But I can kill him there, and then we're just going to go after dash. And if I hadn't modded the way that I did, I don't know if we survived that or not. But fortunately, it doesn't matter because I was able to do it. So I kind of look at that, and I'm like, all right. So I can bite him. Doesn't do a whole lot, but you know, Marin comes out, all of those debuffs are off, and then we're in good shape. So that's where overmodding comes in. If I hadn't overmodded these guys, I'm probably not beating this. But because we overmodded, we are successful and still get through that Night Sister mission. So guys, I hope, one, if you watch the whole video, you're a real one. But I hope this kind of gives you some perspective on territory battles. TB is absolutely an important game mode, and it's one of those areas where a big difference in a person's account, the quality of it, is how they progress through TB. Because you could say, oh, well, territory battles isn't that important. You know, it doesn't increase your rewards all that much. What it shows is the kind of player you are for your guild, right? And not to say, like, you know, like, that's what your wave count can show. In my guild, we look at waves 2 through 6. The reason we look at 2 through 6 is because we don't need everybody in phase 1. Right, just to show that here kind of in this, you know, phase 1, we still have 162 million of undeployed GP. Phase 2, we're down to 28. And then phase 3 and phase 4, you know, nothing. So, combat missions play a big role in the grand scheme of your guild, not so much in the grand scheme of an individual player. And here's an example. So phase 4, I scored 20 million territory points, 20.7 territory points. So I have a GP of 12 million. So of that 20.7, 12 of that was my galactic power. So I scored another 8 million points for the guild through my combat missions. And if you look for this phase, that actually lines me up in 16th position, right? With all of those things, that aligns me in 16th position. If you look at the guild in terms of total GP, right, I would actually be on the much lower end and down. I'm in the bottom 40. So this particular phase, because of how many combat missions I'm able to complete, I'm able to score a lot more points and help my guild in a much more significant way. So those combat missions do play a big role. I don't want you to ever think they don't. So if you're still watching, Wampa is king in the comments. I love you all so much. May the force be with you. I hope you guys kind of enjoy this. I don't expect this to do great views, so appreciate you all if you watched. Cheers.